How's it going, guys? Today we are talking about NASCAR 23. Last time I talked about NASCAR 23, the day after the board of directors for Motorsport Games basically left. So I wonder what's going to happen this time when I'm talking about NASCAR 23, if anything will happen. But to my knowledge and everything that's going on, that game is still being made. Things are still going on as is, and yeah. So I'm just going to act like that. It's coming. That's all I know. So obviously we all know there's things going on behind the scenes that could derail that game from coming out. But for now, it's December. The game will probably come out in 6 months or so, 6 or 7 months or so, if it does go to plan. So at this time, I thought it was right to make the NASCAR 22 basically the things that are needed in the career mode. So NASCAR 21 Ignition, for a career, it didn't really have a career. Looking back on it, I would say it's one of the more disappointing things about NASCAR 21 Ignition, because you could have actually accepted it if the game was solid in different areas, but it wasn't. It was very broken. So the sacrifice that was career mode didn't feel like a worthy sacrifice. In terms of just not having one, it just really didn't. NASCAR 21 Ignition did not have a career mode. It was like putting a bunch of race now races together into a season and calling that a career mode. There's a lot of things that I think it's missing. So we're going to talk about those things that a career mode in NASCAR 23 should look like and or have just features that it should maybe consist of. I want to give a shout out to all the Patreon members, as always, for supporting the channel. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you guys, as always, for supporting, and hopefully everyone has a great happy holidays, great December, great Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, and everything else. New Year's Eve always sucks because of the fireworks, and I have to be with my dog because he's scared. But hopefully everyone has a great holiday month. So right off the bat, career mode. I think sometimes the words career mode have been overused. You call a feature a career, but it's not really a career. It's like skinned as something else, like a championship mode or basically something like that. So one of the first things I want to see in this career mode is just the fact that it's you and there's some sort of level of progression. I've been a big fan of wanting to see an avatar like at the beginning of the game. Like the first thing you do is creating an avatar when you come into the game, which is basically a driver. That's something that I would want. That's something that I believe the game should have. It's something that the F1 games have been doing for a very long time now. I don't even remember when they started it. Might have been even, I think F1 2010 you might even had an avatar, but like it's been a very long time where you just have an avatar. I think that's something that should definitely happen in a NASCAR 23 career mode. And you'll notice some of the things I ask for, guys, is not really that deep and that crazy. Just like this next one, speed, like different speeds with the teams and progression and stuff like that. NASCAR 21 Ignition doesn't have that. It's very odd and jarring, actually, when you basically went into the first race with Rick Ware Racing and you could win the Daytona 500 off the bat because you had the same speed as everyone else. That's just not how it should be. It just isn't. You need to basically level the career mode differently to what the race now is. So race now, yeah, you can take a Rick Ware Racing car and you know, try to win a race, or you can just have performance caps on all the cars. F1 does this. So like even in the race now mode, you can't take a Williams and like drop that thing on pole in realistic settings. There's like performance caps. There's performance speeds in the cars, basically. That will be something that would be really interesting. And then you could also have the option to turn that option off. So if you want all the cars to be equal, then you can do that. Essentially what NASCAR 21 Ignition is all the cars are equal. That's the setting. They're all equal. So if you don't want that and want a more realistic setting, and something that I think would be really cool to have, I've really not seen it in NASCAR games before. I've seen ratings given. I remember some of the EA Sports games would give drivers ratings, and that's how fast they would be. But you could still hop into one of the slowest cars, slowest drivers, and still be just as fast. So that would be something really, really cool. Again, taking a little bit of inspiration from the F1 games, where each car literally performs differently. That would be very, very cool. The only thing about that is that, the next gen car in real life is not that different. Like, it's not like F1 where the cars are literally very different. This is the next gen car. It's basically a spec car. Yes, the back market teams definitely won't be as fast as like Hendrick Motorsports, but I don't think you could exaggerate the difference maybe as much as you could. Like, you can't make, for example, Bubba Wallace 3/10 slower than Hendrick Motorsports, because that's just not the case. Bubba Wallace could be just as fast as them on any given day. So that's where, like, even that point from me may like fall on its sword, because the performance between, let's say, the top 25 drivers / teams with the next gen car is pretty equal because of how equal the cars are. So maybe that won't happen, but some sort of just leveling up essentially would be really nice. Another detail I want is sponsorships. I want sponsorships to play a part. You saw a hint of this in NASCAR 21 Ignition. You saw contracts. It was very irrelevant, though. Very irrelevant. Like, you could negotiate a purse, like clauses here and there, incentives. Very, very irrelevant. It didn't really matter. Sponsorships would be very, very cool. This leads, the game already has a paint booth. NASCAR 21 Ignition already technically has a paint booth, so being able to make your own car and throw the sponsors on there would be really cool. Have incentive contracts based on that. That would be something that I would definitely want. And this leads me more into the owner mode aspect of things as well. An owner mode would be nice, but done properly. I'm kind of tired of half-assed owner modes. I would like for a properly done owner mode, something that gives you control over a lot of different aspects of the sport. Like, let's face it, when you're owning a team, it's like what happens on track is a very small percentage of everything that you have to do. So there, whether it be dealing with sponsorships, whether it be hiring other drivers for your team, whether it be your team / your car as a whole, an owner mode should be a driver owner mode. That's what it should be. So you are a driver and you are an owner. That is something we see nowadays in NASCAR. So I would like to see that done in a career mode. And you can, again, hire other drivers, not like the drivers currently in the sport because of licensing issues, but hire, whether it be fantasy drivers or whatever, to come be an extra car. And one of the reasons why you can actually do that is because in real life NASCAR, currently there's not 43 car fields or even 40 car fields most of the time. There's 36, 37, even 35 sometimes, like car registered fields. So what if, NASCAR 22 gives, or NASCAR 23 gives like a 40 car field, and some races there's 37 cars in the field. What if you have a 3-car team? You can field more cars in there. I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about, but that would be something really cool. And then just the other aspects of that, the shop, the R&D, how do you make your cars go faster, all that stuff. I just want back in a NASCAR game. I miss it, but I don't want it to be, like I said, half-assed. NASCAR Heat was fine. It was just really simple. Like, it was just like press a button, okay, fix that, put the money there. I would like a lot more detail when it comes to the revenues and the expenses and the wages that you would have to pay for your employees and their morale. Like, are they happy? Are they not? Race performances could play a part in that. Your pit crew, can you hire a pit crew? Can you not? If you hire a pit crew, they have certain ratings that make them give you faster pit stops and certain ratings that give you slower pit stops. These are all details that have been in previous games. It's not something that I think is out of the ordinary. It's just being able to actually do it. And I think, in a career mode, it would be very, very nice. Because you want, like I said, this all leads back to progression. So think about it. You could progress your cars. You could progress your team. You could progress your employees. You can progress yourself. Like, it's just something about starting at the bottom and going up. And I'm thinking about this from only having the Cup Series. It's very simple to just say, you could take a driver, start him in the trucks, and go Trucks Xfinity Cup. But I've seen that done so many times, and usually when you do that, you spend so many resources on the trucks and the Xfinity part of it that you forget to actually make it fun to go from trucks to Xfinity to Cup. So if you just focus on just Cup for now and actually get those progression aspects into it, where you can upgrade employees and all that stuff, then in future games you could then implement the Xfinity and the trucks. Because you just can't, Xfinity and trucks takes a lot of time to put in the game, and being completely honest, just putting that in the game and then telling me to start in the trucks and make my way through, I've done it so many times, I've seen it so many times, and it's not really special to do. So I would much rather have it done the other way, where you just focus on the Cup Series for now and focus on the little details within the owner mode of that, and then implementing the Xfinity trucks. Let me know what you think about that, though. That's just my opinion. But, a lot of people differ with me on that, because a lot of people do want Xfinity and trucks. I just don't want the Xfinity and the trucks to take away from career mode details. That's just my opinion. This one's a pipe dream. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's possible. It might be possible because I saw NASCAR Heat 5 do it. Custom schedules or something like that. What NASCAR Heat 5 didn't do, which is actually what I'm asking for in a weird way, is for a career, could you have the option to choose your points format? Would that be possible? Do you guys think that's possible? So you give me 3 choices, right? I start the career, I go into the settings. What if you could start a career with the original points format? 36 races, no playoffs. What if you could start the career with a 10-race chase? What if you can start a career with the current playoff format? You know what I mean? Would that be hard to do? Would NASCAR even allow it? That's actually more of a question, I think, for NASCAR. Would they allow that? Because you know how the official game of NASCAR has to be. It has to be as close to the real life thing as possible. If you gave us the option of using old formats, old points formats, would NASCAR get annoyed by that and just not let that happen? I don't really know the situation there. Would it be hard to code that into the game? It's more of the coding, just understanding or writing 3 different ways of calculating points. That's how I see it. The original way would be very simple. It's just 36 races straightforward. And you don't have to change it back to like the 175 points for a win. You could keep it as 1 point, 2 points, 40 points for a win and all that stuff. You can keep it that way, but without resetting points for the playoffs. Just having that option would create a really cool dynamic where I could have a different points format from you, but also we could do multiple different formats and start multiple different saves. That would be really, really, really cool. That's just something I thought about. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Again, not, in my opinion, not groundbreaking or anything. It's just giving the player the option to do a career mode how they want to. If it has those other features I talked about earlier in the game, then add in just the ability to like just change the format as well. That would be really, really awesome. Like, because we can already do it with stages. You can run a race without stages. It's the same thing. Like NASCAR in real life runs stages, but in the game you don't have to run the stages. You can take them off if you want. So what if you could do that with a points format? What if you could do that with the 10-race chase? Everyone who loves the 10-race chase, well, in the game you can use the 10-race chase playoff format. In the game you can use the 36 race no playoff points format. That would be awesome. So I hope that does show up one day. Not in NASCAR 23, most likely. I would love to see that option, but one day. That would be really, really cool. And I would like rivalries. I would like rivalries back. And for them to really matter. I don't really care about friends. I don't really care about ally systems. I care about rivalries. Like, if I hit someone on the track, I want them to race me more aggressively, and for that to be carried on through the career. What other aspects you want to add to that, you can, like whether they send you a tweet, whether there is a post-race cutscene, whatever you want to do. But that is something that I would like, because it's always fun to wreck someone and then they actually wreck you back. I just like that. Those are just a few things that I want to see in the NASCAR 23 career. Let me know what you guys think. I'll maybe make a part 2 to this, because I only touched on about 4 or 5 things. And again, I'm not expecting a lot of these things to be in there. Like, I have realistic expectations, guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't even know if this game's going to come out. Hopefully it does. But I have realistic expectations. Not getting my hopes up, just putting out some opinions. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what you want in the career mode as well. I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Take care of yourselves. And make sure you guys comment down below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.